The story begins with the voice of a girl who shares her troubling experiences. She often has terrifying nightmares so vivid that they jolt her awake, screaming. Even after waking, she lies there, caught in deep thought, wondering if her dream has truly ended. She feels as though she is trapped between two worlds, struggling to determine which one is real. Her mind is torn between the dream world and reality, unable to discern the truth. In her dream she might have died, but somehow she always survives. This leaves her with an unsettling fear. What if she was never actually asleep? If it wasn't a dream, then maybe it all truly happened. The story then shifts to a bank where a girl named Winnie is present with her friend Ern. A robber suddenly enters the bank, and chaos ensues as a couple, Bobby and Jewel, launch an attack. They hijack the bank, sealing it from the inside. A receptionist attempts to press the alarm to alert the police, but Jewel notices and shoots her. Panic spreads among the people inside. Jewel orders everyone to lie on the ground with their heads down, threatening to shoot anyone who disobeys. Meanwhile, Bobby forces the manager to open the locker, steals all the cash, and locks the manager inside. Things take a darker turn when Bobby starts harassing Winnie. A man tries to intervene and save her, but Bobby shoots him, leaving Winnie traumatized. Now, with the stolen cash, Bobby and Jewel decide to use Winnie and Ern as hostages for protection. They escape the bank and force a cab driver named Chow to drive them away. Chow, with no choice, complies. The police quickly begin chasing them, leading to a dramatic shootout. Bobby and Jewel fire at the police, causing crashes and fatalities. To block their pursuers, they detonate a vehicle, creating a massive roadblock. As the chaos unfolds, Bobby and Jewel celebrate their temporary victory, but Winnie sees an opportunity to fight back. She tries to grab Bobby's gun but fails. In the struggle, Ern is accidentally shot in the leg, and the car crashes violently. The crash is severe, but shockingly, Winnie emerges unharmed, which catches Jewel's attention. Suspicious and unnerved, Jewel points her gun at Winnie, seemingly ready to kill her, but hesitates for reasons unknown. Instead, they continue their journey deeper into the jungle, where they stumble upon an old, abandoned palace. Bobby decides they will spend the night there. Inside the palace, Bobby interrogates Winnie, asking if anyone might come looking for her and put them in danger. Winnie reveals that she has no family or anyone who would come for her, leaving Bobby reassured. The story continues with Winnie asking Bobby and Jewel to free her hands so she can help her injured friend, Ern, and tend to his wounds. Instead of helping, Jewel mocks her and deliberately causes Ern more pain. Jewel goes as far as shoving the barrel of her gun into Ern's wound, making him suffer terribly. Witnessing this, Chow angrily insults Jewel. In response, she laughs and explains that being bad makes her happy. She recalls how her mother, who was good and weak, was often beaten by neighbors. One day, Jewel killed her own father to protect her mother, and since then, she embraced being bad, finding joy in mocking good and weak people like her mother. After Jewel and Bobby leave the room, Winnie tells Chow that they need to escape. Chow agrees and suggests finding something useful. They notice a pot sitting on a table. Winnie tries to knock it over with her foot, but it doesn't work. Determined, she repeatedly kicks the table with her injured leg until the pot falls and breaks. Using a shard from the broken pot, Chow cuts through their ropes and frees both himself and Winnie. Together, they bandage Ernst's leg, pick him up, and hide him in a safe room before making their escape to find help. They run far, desperate to leave the palace behind, but somehow end up back in front of it, as if trapped in a loop. Frustrated and scared, they change direction, only to see a shadow moving in the distance. Terrified, they run in another direction but once again find themselves near the palace. It feels as if no matter how far they try to escape, their fears and impending death are chasing them, ready to consume them. Before they can make sense of it all, Winnie notices a shadow following her, and she starts screaming. They rush back inside, only to discover that Ern is no longer in the safe room where they had left him. Fear grips them as they suspect Bobby and Jewel might have captured him again. Searching through the rooms, They find a strange relic and a photo of a couple in one of them. Meanwhile, Bobby and Jewel are seen together, having a private moment. Jewel expresses her exhaustion with their current lifestyle and says she wants to get married. Bobby, however, dismisses the idea and walks away, making it clear he has no interest in marriage. Frustrated, Jewel is left alone as Bobby begins taking drugs. Under the influence, he starts seeing unsettling shadows moving around him, which disturb and unnerve him. Jewel hears a strange sound outside the window but brushes it off. Suddenly, the window swings open, startling her. At the same time, the door opens with a loud noise. Looking outside, she sees a shadowy figure in a red dress. Fear grips her as she worries about being caught. Grabbing a gun, she heads downstairs and finds Vinny and Chow standing outside a locked door. Behind it, they can hear Arn's voice. Desperate to save him, they try to break the door, but nothing works. Frustrated, they wander around the mansion, searching for another way to free Arn. Meanwhile, Bobby meets Jewel, and the two split up to hunt for Vinny, Chow, and Arn, knowing that they have escaped. They suspect the shadow following them might be one of the three. While searching, Vinny and Chow run into Bobby. After a struggle, they manage to take his gun. But just then, Jewel arrives. In the commotion, she gets shot in the leg, and as the chaos unfolds, a bullet grazes Chow's hand. Bobby, Jewel, Vinny, and Chow are all injured. They quickly perform makeshift dressings to stop the bleeding. As Vinny tends to Chow's wound, Chow experiences unsettling visions that leave him disturbed. Something about Vinny seems strange to him, and his unease grows. Later, Chow's visions intensify. He imagines himself becoming intimate with Vinny, only for her to stab him in the vision. This deeply unsettles him. At the same time, Vinny starts experiencing her own strange visions connected to the eerie mansion. It becomes clear that something supernatural ties these visions to the palace. Meanwhile, Bobby and Jewel hear strange noises. Bobby follows the sound to the door where Arn is trapped, but something paranormal seems to be haunting him. Jewel then encounters a mysterious little girl who lures her into a dark corner. The girl plays with Jewel's fears before vanishing, leaving Jewel terrified. Suddenly, the red shadow reappears and attacks her. Jewel's scream echoes through the mansion, alerting everyone. Bobby rushes to find her. Vinny hears the scream and assumes it must be Arn. However, Chow insists that Arn is dead, and the screams they are hearing are just hallucinations. He warns Vinny that nothing in the mansion is normal and that paranormal forces are at play. Despite this, Vinny remains skeptical. Suddenly, the two find themselves locked inside a closet. While trapped, they notice movement nearby and discover a red gown. When Vinny touches it, more strange visions appear. Amid the chaos, they find a key, which seems to unlock another mystery of the mansion. Bobby arrives and asks Vinny and Chow to marry him. A fight begins, but they manage to injure him. They take the key from Bobby and open the locked door. Behind the door, the same red shadow that attacked earlier now goes after Bobby too. Vinny and Chow cross through what they call the door of death. On the other side, they find a strange room where everything is burnt. In the room they see a mirror. Chow asks Vinny if she remembers anything about her life before the explosion at the bank. Vinny realizes she doesn't remember anything, and Chow says he also has no memories from before the explosion. As they look into the mirror, the truth of their past is revealed. Vinny was once engaged to a king who lived in a grand mansion. But she was secretly having an affair with the king's butler, Chow. On the day of her wedding, Vinny poisoned the king and killed him. To make sure no one found out, she hired a contract killer named Bobby. Bobby killed everyone who could expose her, including a little girl who later became a ghost haunting the mansion. The people Bobby killed started haunting him, and the events happening in the mansion turned out to be paranormal. In the present, Chow becomes very upset as more truths come to light. He reveals that he trusted Vinny, but she betrayed him too. Suddenly, a mysterious force appears and kills Chow. Before dying, Chow tells Vinny that she should not have betrayed him. Vinny begins to remember everything. 6 years ago, she had killed her supporters, including Arn, Bobby, and Jewel. She even killed Chow, her lover. This was her biggest mistake. On that day, she became trapped in the mansion, unable to leave. She was neither fully alive nor fully dead. Now, Vinny is cursed to remain in the mansion, reliving the nightmare of her past. She has endless nightmares where the people she killed haunt her and die again and again. She cannot find peace and must endure fear and pain forever as punishment for her selfish actions. Vinny was a selfish woman who visited the mansion only for her benefit. She started an affair with the butler for physical needs, but later poisoned the king to gain wealth. Afterward, she killed those who supported her, Arn, Bobby, and Jewel, and finally killed Chow. She did all this to become the sole owner of the mansion. However, her actions brought a curse upon her. This curse trapped her between two realms. She cannot be destroyed, and she is endlessly forced to face new nightmares and painful realities that always end in her death. This cycle of pain and suffering is her eternal punishment. Now it makes sense why Vinny and others kept running in circles around the same mansion. The spirits that hunted, scared, and attacked them were the very people Vinny had betrayed and killed. They were seeking revenge. Vinny tries to escape from the mansion, thinking she might find freedom, but she cannot. The red shadows, her victims, will never let her go. They pull her away and trap her once again. Suddenly, she finds herself on a bus, with no memory of what happened. Everything has been reset, and she is now in a new dream. In this new world, Vinny faces different situations, but the cycle remains the same. She might fall in love, but she will always experience pain, rejection, and loneliness. She will think she has reached the end, but true salvation will always escape her. This endless loop of suffering will continue for eternity. And with that, the story of the movie Realms ends.